Ahava and blessings. Welcome to this episode of Hold the Shehina. This podcast is here to support us and guide us in this ascension journey, in this spiritual awakening, remembering, integrating, embodying of our infinite light in our alignment with the divine. I am your host. My name is Aurea. I am a Reiki master, energy and sound healer, and an ordained Magdalene priestess, and I am your guide on this beautiful Friday. It is the day of the goddess, the day that is aligned with Venus, and we are in the portal of the new moon in Capricorn. Capricorn is a very solid, powerful earth sign. It is an energy I love working with. And it's also in the Aramaic spirituality and the spirituality that Yeshua and Mary Magdalene followed. The new moon was the beginning of the new lunar cycle. So with this new moon in Capricorn, we're actually going into the Aquarius portal, even though the sun only arrives in Aquarius, I think, a couple weeks later. So it's interesting. We're working with both energies, and energies that are aligned with the planet Saturn. And Saturn gets a really, really bad rap. But before I get into Saturn, and the really wonderful qualities that it has, I want to share that this moon is at 20 degrees of Capricorn. It is a very potent time because 0 is infinity, it is the void. 2 is the number of duality, but it is not just duality, it is duality coming into union. And it is really, this is kind of a lot of what this year is. This 8-year that we're into, this 2024, is really about accelerating our integration, our embodiment, our union of all of these aspects of ourselves, of our masculine, our feminine, our light, our shadow, in order to really step into our mission, step into fully anchor our mission here on earth, and to experience the abundance, the growth, the success that comes with this 8 energy, this energy of infinite life force. So Capricorn is the sign of the sea goat. So it is half fish, mermaid or mergoat, and half goat. Goats are incredibly nimble, crafty little suckers. They can scale crazy steep mountainsides and not fall. So I think it's interesting that came. So that kind of resilience is what we're working with as we go into this portal of Aquarius. We're working with the energies of Saturn, which is the taskmaster, which is Father Time, but it is also about doing what we need to do, taking aligned action in order to ground and anchor our mission, our destiny, our Malkootah, our divine earth here, manifested here now. There's a lot of talk of, the 5th dimension, we're ascending. It kind of gives it this kind of otherworldly, and you might have heard me speak about this before, so I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself, but it kind of gives it this otherworldly, we're going to go off somewhere and everything's going to be perfect and hunky-dory. And that's not exactly what this ascension process is. This process is about awakening, remembering who you are, the infinite light of your soul, and fully embodying that. When you fully embody that, when you bring in your light into your physical body, it follows that your environment changes because everything is interconnected. So it's when I speak of ascension, I speak of us remembering. I speak of us integrating. I speak of us embodying. I speak of us anchoring our light here in our physical body. And it is a beautiful and tough in many ways. It can be difficult journey. However, Saturn will bestow upon us, the energy of Saturn will bestow upon us blessings when we are doing the thing that we're supposed to be doing. So whatever that is, and so many of us are programmed and live in fear of, well, what if we show ourselves to be fully, as intuitive or healers or whatever, sound healers, energy healers, and then everyone thinks we're crazy. Sweetheart, everyone thinks you're crazy anyway. This is what I have to remind myself all the time. Everyone thinks I'm nuts to begin with. And you know what? I don't want to be anyone other than myself. So, and that is that Aquarius energy. That Aquarius energy that this portal is opening up, leading us into, is that energy of being fully, authentically, straight up you. In whatever magnificent, beautiful, sometimes painful way that it is that you are expressing, that is exactly where you need to be. And not falling into the trap of getting rigid. Because when we become rigid in our belief systems, in our way of thinking, in our way of doing, in our way of feeling, when we become rigid, we're basically severing our connection to the divine. We're not allowing divine energy to flow through us. We are separating ourselves. However, when we allow ourselves to receive, that is when we are in flow. That is when we are truly allowing the energy that is uniquely you to flow through you and to express through you. And this is what I mean. This is actually why I named my podcast Hold the Shekhinah. But it's not so much holding. It's you are allowing the light of Shekhinah. And the light of Shekhinah, the divine feminine, is the light of your soul. It is the light of infinite creation, creation that has no duality. It is the light of God, goddess. You are allowing this infinite cosmic force to flow and express through you. Why is it flowing and expressing through you? Because you are that divine energy. My darling, my dear, my loves, this is who you are. You are this divine, infinite being in a human form. The task this go around, this earth game, this earth playground, this earth school, is to see how far we could separate ourselves, forget who we are, and still come back to remembrance, still come back to our oneness, still come back to our union with all that is, to knowing that that is our true essence, and everything else is an illusion. Any fear, any program, any doubt, any lack, any limitations, all of that are lies. They're all lies to keep you ignorant of your infinite self, of your ability to transform, transmute, and alchemize whatever is in front of you. Whatever it is that we wish to manifest, we wish to create, we wish to bring down, we have the ability to do this. And this is what this new moon portal is showing us. This is a new year. And yes, the earth portal for the new year is in the spring. We're not arguing that. It is a new opportunity. And I actually would invite you to do this. Every moment, view every moment as a new beginning, a new opportunity, an opportunity to rebirth, recalibrate, reassess, reconfigure, whatever it is in your life in this moment that you wish to transform. Every moment is a new beginning. Every breath is your connection to the divine. There is no separation. And Capricorn is a very strong energy. Capricorn can be quite rigid, which is exactly what I'm saying. Don't go into that rigidity. But go into that energy of creation, of birthing, of allowing yourself to tap into this infinite self that you are, and bring down that infinite light and allow that light to clear whatever it is in your life, whatever needs to be shed, whatever needs to be let go of, allow it to let it go. oftentimes we hold on, and this is Capricorn is an earth energy, Aquarius is an air energy. So the earth energy often tends to be stuck in some ways because they have a certain tangible way of viewing the world. And there's nothing wrong with wanting your feet on the ground and wanting to be grounded. When we allow this structure that we have created to hold us and cage us, that is when that structure no longer serves its purpose. The purpose of the structure that you create for your mission, for your life, for your work, for your relationships, for all of this, the purpose of the structure is to support you in your expansion. There will come a point when you will need to create new structures. You will need to create new ways of thinking, being, doing, and experiencing and expressing. And we need to not hold on so strongly to what we think, the way that we think things should be, because that prevents us from really stepping more fully into ourselves, from allowing more light to pour through us. So don't be afraid to let go. Don't be afraid to just reinvent, reconfigure, reassess, redo, whatever it is. There are no mistakes. There is nothing that is a mistake in your life. There are lessons, there are experiences, there are expressions. But let's remove that judgment, that guilt, that shame, that fear, that blame. Let's remove that from the equation this year. And as we're going into this new moon portal, let's shed what needs to be shed and really allow ourselves to embody our light. Aquarius is a sign of the collective. It is a sign of humanity, of the humanitarian, of wanting to make the world a better place. And how does Aquarius make the world a better place? Aquarius makes the world a better place by being completely, authentically, unapologetically themselves. And they don't like labels. They don't like constraints. They don't like doing things the way they've been done, because traditionally, and that's Capricorn, it's always been done that way. That's not the way they think. That's not the way they're wired. They're not wired to continue to do the same repetitive things. They're just not, that's not the way they roll. And we are in this Aquarian age. This is the age that is the age of the Holy Spirit, the age of the divine feminine, the age of Aquarius. This is the age of really creating a world where everything serves the highest light. Everything supports and nourishes our well-being. This is a powerful time for new beginnings around your healing, around your transformation, around your power, because the new moon is in a loose conjunction with Pluto. Pluto is the planet of transformation. It is the planet of power, the planet of sex and the mysteries and delving deep into the depths. It really is your relationship to your ability to be in your power and sovereignty is coming to light. Your relationship to heal, to your healing, is coming to light, because it's also in a square to Chiron, and Chiron is the wounded centaur, the wounded healer. So where do you need to bring in healing? Where do you need to bring in transformation? Where do we need to reassess our relationship with power and the way that we have viewed ourselves? And where do we need to let go? Where can we recognize those patterns that are limiting and holding us back, and allow them to gracefully transform into something else, transform into another way, another manner, another form. That's the word I'm looking for. Another form that supports us in our expansion. This year is all about expansion. It's all about your life force. This is the first new moon of the year, and everything works in cycles. There are cycles to the earth, there are cycles to the moon, the planets, there are cycles to yourself. And wow, this storm is really picking up. It's really coming down here in Atlanta. So I'm sending healing to everyone who's out there and who's in this storm. It's like a monsoon. So my apologies for the little brief interruption to send healing. But we are in this space of expansion. We are in this space of really embodying the fullness of our life force, embodying the limitless expression of our soul. And this new moon, everything works in cycles. Working with this lunar energy allows you to tap into that cycle. So we have the cycles that are of the day of the week, cycles of creation of the day of the week, cycles of creation that are the moon, and the zodiacal systems. So there are cycles, and I will talk about this in the next podcast, because I think when we can tune into the cycles and really align yourself with the different iterations of life as it is happening and the energies that are flowing, you will notice that your life flows a lot easier. Things get unstuck, kind of like water. Water has a way of cutting through the toughest rock. It is persistent, it is tenacious, it just flows, and it will create a way. This is energy. Energy creates its own path, and it is up to us to tune into what that path is, so we can learn how to work with it, learn how it's interacting with our energy, because our energy is the energy of the cosmos that is expressing. Our energy is the energy that we need to learn to master. We need to learn to really harness and work with and understand, and really not understand from a place in your head, but understand from your heart, so you can really feel fully empowered and fully present in every moment. And that is what the breath brings us to. The breath, which is, if you are a life path 8, which I am, it's all about the breath, it's all about the life force, it's all about that expansion, that success. This is the energy of this year. So when we work with the breath, what we're doing is we are allowing ourselves to expand. We're allowing ourselves to receive that cosmic life force through the breath. And the more that we receive, the more that we expand. So it's a very powerful new moon, and I am celebrating this in Joshua Tree, which is a beautiful retreat space that I really wanted this to be an amazing opportunity for rebirth, for renewal, for coming back to the heart space, which is why I titled my retreat that, because the heart space really is, when we are in our heart space, we can tap into higher wisdom. We are not allowing ourselves to be, we are not in the ego mind, we're not in the programs, the limiting beliefs, the patterns, and the karmas and the traumas. We're in the heart space. And in the heart space, we are expansive. We know that we are unconditional love. We know that we are cosmic life force. We know that we are divine beings, energetic beings having a human form. And from that space, it's easier for us to access wisdom and divine guidance, and the wisdom that we hold in our bones from the many, many lifetimes that we have lived. So this new moon, I really ask you to look at how the energy is being received in your body. Are you tired? Are you exhausted? Are you grouchy? Are you full of life force? However it's expressing, allow that energy to show you what it is that you need to pay attention to. What is it in your life at this point in time that needs the most nurturing and nourishment? Bait is associated with the moon. The moon is nurturing. It's also Saturn, but you see that energy of Saturn, the moon. Both are nurturing your growth. One in a more disciplined way, the other in more of an emotional, nurturing way. But both energies are necessary in order for us to birth what needs to come through, what is wanting to come through you. We need these two energies. We need to work with the structure and the discipline, and also the emotional intelligence, the higher wisdom, the intuitive guidance, so we can implement and bring down that guidance into the earth and manifest it into the physical realm. I'm very, very excited about this year. It is going to be an amazing year for those, I think for everyone in one way, shape, or form. And particularly those who are working with the cycles, who are in their work and really deepening their work. And I do want to mention a little something about your light. Your light, that infinite cosmic energy that is your soul, that energy that I'm saying we need to bring in more and more and anchor it in our bodies more and more so we can birth. This energy has the ability to transmute and alchemize whatever it is that is stagnant, old, dense, what other words? Not needed. All of those things. This energy has the ability to alchemize. And this is what this process of working with energy is. It is that deep alchemy of our karmas, our traumas, our limiting beliefs, our shedding of those layers, and understanding that we are infinite. When we understand that we are infinite, we know that all of that stuff can just be gracefully let go, shed. And I know sometimes we want to think that it has to be more difficult there are teachings. I'm thinking particularly of Buddhist teachings, and also I believe in Hinduism as well. There's that concept of reincarnation, and that concept of lifetime after lifetime after lifetime going through these lessons in order to transform, in order to reach the state of arhat or nirvana. That's not the way this earth game works. We understand that we are energy, and from the standpoint that we are infinite creation, creator in this form, we anchor in and bring in more of our infinite radiant light, and that light itself alchemizes whatever is stuck within us, whatever needs nurturing, healing, attention. All of it can be instantaneously transmuted. It is our limiting beliefs that keep us from accessing this ability. So that's the other thing, yes. Since we're in this new moon, let's look at what our limiting beliefs are. Do we have limiting beliefs around scarcity, around resources, around money, around relationships? Where are those fears and those lack limitations? Where are those? Where do they sit in your body, and where do they sit in your energy field? And that shows you where you need to work. For me, what I realized is there is a belief that there's just not enough. And there's a belief that if I let go of something, if I let go of a creation, and I was just doing this because I'm preparing for the Conscious Life Expo in February, on February weekend of the 10th. And I'm looking at my beautiful alchemized jewelry pieces that I created. And so my pieces, my malas and my jewelry pieces with crystals and precious gemstones, those I infuse with Reiki and I do ceremony on them. So I spend a lot of energy creating these pieces and really feeling into what is needed and what this piece needs to be infused with, what energy needs to be infused with. And I was looking at these two pieces. So I love all of them, but these two particular pieces are quite rare because one of them has this garden quartz that has a phoenix carved into it, and the other is a Kuan Yin labradorite, carved labradorite. And these two pieces, like, I just look at them and I'm like, oh, I don't want to let them go. And it just dawned on me. It's like, how many things in your life are you not willing to let in because you are holding on so tightly to what you have already created? And I created these pieces in order for them to be of service to someone else, not to me. So here I am. I'm like, wow. I'm like, all right, thank you, New Moon in Capricorn. You're showing me exactly what I need to be doing. I need to come to the point where I can lovingly pour my heart and soul and my energy into my creation. And once it's complete, just hold my palms out and offer it without guilt, without judgment, without resentment, without any of these programs that have taught me, well, if you let it go, nothing else is going to come back. Because remember, it all comes down to our upbringing. There are always programs in our upbringing, particularly between the ages of 0 and I believe it's 7 when the root chakra forms. Or is it 8? Somewhere around there. But these formative years are important because this is where we learn the subconscious patterns that are basically running the show when we are going through life completely unconscious and unaware. And I don't want to say unawake, asleep. When we are just coasting through life and not really looking, not really doing the self-exploration and the deep work, it's normal. These subconscious patterns will run. And I'm like, oh, thank you. I'm like, it's like I'm keeping more beautiful things from coming in and from being expressed through me because I'm so fearful of letting go. I'm so fearful of truly offering my gifts. And I was like, that was a huge moment for me. Was it this morning or yesterday? And I was like, okay, we're gonna work on that. We're going to alchemize that, and we're just going to offer. We're going to offer our gifts without the judgment we have of ourselves, without the guilt, without the shame, without the blame, without the, oh, I'm going to look like I'm crazy. Without the, oh, I'm afraid that if I let this go, I'm going to lose something beautiful. And instead of thinking, when I let this thing of beauty, when I let it go, something even more beautiful is going to show up in its place. I will create something even more magnificent. That, to me, that is a far more empowering way of living and of experiencing this earth existence, this humanity, than to think that we have to hold on. There are an infinite amount of beautiful things. There are an infinite amount of beautiful things within you that are just waiting to be birthed, to be let loose upon the world, so they can continue to share beauty and harmony and joy and ease and abundance and flow and wisdom. There are so many things. And yet, where are we clinging for dear life as if we will actually be losing instead of gaining something? That is quite powerful. It's a very powerful thing to notice when we are on this path. And many aha moments will come to you and show themselves when you allow yourself to receive them. And again, no judgment, no shame, no guilt, no beating yourself up. Please do not beat yourself up. Don't beat yourself up. Just allow yourself to go on this journey, to really receive what is being shown, so you can really step into that next level of yourself. Express yourself more fully, more authentically, more genuinely, more from that complete openness of the heart. And that openness of the heart is very scary, because so many of us have been hurt. I have been there myself. And you give your all, and you just happen to have given it to someone who really was not the kind of person who knows how to value all the gifts you have to share. But just because that has been the past experience doesn't mean we have to experience it again. We are different. Every moment is different. Even if it might on the surface kind of seem like you've already lived this, it's a different moment. You're a different person. Your energy is different. So let's not be like, oh, I'm doing this again. No, you're not. You're doing that circumstance because there's still a little bit of a lesson, but you are different. You have already changed. You have already transformed. So how does this new you, without the frustration of, oh, I'm doing this go around again, how does this new you respond to this circumstance? Respond and create something of harmony, of beauty, and of value in every moment. That is what I welcome you to explore this lunar cycle. Really coming into yourself, seeing what needs to be seen, allowing it to be shown to you, receiving it, letting go of whatever needs to be shed, and really allowing yourself to show up in a different way, because you already are different. It's just that you haven't fully realized how different and how much you've grown and changed and evolved. Honor yourself, honor this growth. Have grace for those parts of yourself that still maybe aren't where you want them to be, but again, no judgment. There is no one path. That is what Aquarius shows us. There is no one path. Well, if we call that one path the path of love, then yes, there's one path. But in terms of how we all express that love that we are, that infinite oneness, that cosmic life force that we are, there is no one path for that expression. That is the beauty of our existence. We are free to express the infinite light of creation through us in a multitude of ways, each of them beautiful, each of them valid, each of them radiant, each of them filled with life and hope and harmony. And with that, I will leave you. I do hope that you enjoyed this episode. If you did, do share it, subscribe, follow. 5-star reviews are wonderful. And I would love to hear from you. I would love to hear how you have received or are receiving this energy. And I do want to mention this one other thing. So we come across sound healings, activations, teachings, whether it's pertaining to a particular cycle of the moon or whatever. Even if that frequency, if like in the timeline, which isn't even real, let's just say you come across this in March. The teaching is still relevant to you. We always come across whatever it is that we see, we encounter, it's what we need in that moment. So if you come across this in March or in October, see how this fits in where you are. There are no accidents. There are no coincidences. We are constantly being divinely guided. We are divinely supported. We are fully receiving. When we are open, we are fully receiving the light of the divine and all of the heavenly protection, all of the love, all of the support. So you're never alone. You are always protected. You are always loved. You are always seen. And you are incredibly valuable, and your contributions are, the world is just waiting for them. So thank you so much for listening. Do tune in to the sound activation that is the next episode, and I will see you next time. I do love to hear from you, so do share with me how you received this. Ahava, and have a blessed rest of your day.